Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today, and I hope everyone is doing well. Step 0, congratulations on claiming the crown of Furstendom, although you're Step 0, so shouldn't it be the 0th? You know, you get the 0th crown today, because why not? And Kid could see with a twist and Freyard with a third. Y'all are a bunch of nerds, and I love you. I love you all so much. Before we dive in, get started for today, I want to give some thank yous and some shout outs to some new followers. Thank you to Chaos Wolf, Boomshire, and Jorbinicus. Thank you for the follow. Fourth. Hello, Bedroxy. Congratulations on your fourth. So glad I have a chat that can count with the ordinal numbers so well. Anyway, so today, I thought I had a game that I don't have. So I have the Wisdom Tree collection on Steam, and Wisdom Tree made a bunch of NES games back in the day that were all unofficial. Like, they were not licensed and approved by Nintendo. They were actually made on third-party cartridges. They did not have the seal of approval. One of them is called King of Kings: The Early Years. So you might imagine that is about Jesus, and there's 3 games in it. There's one about the Magi, there's one about the flight into Egypt, and I forget what the third one is. But I thought, it's like, I have the Wisdom Tree collection. Surely I have that. I don't. It's not in there. That's an NES only one. So I have other games in the Wisdom Tree collection, which are still kind of fitting, because, I mean, obviously they're all scriptural. So we're going to be playing the one labeled Bible Adventures, which itself has 3 games in it. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but it's too short of notice to change anything. So let's go ahead and get this launched. There we go. DOSBox is ready. Oh, I need to change that from Minecraft. Because nothing says Christianity like unregistered carts. Exactly. Also, I love the complete lack of music. We can count to 7011. We're very special that way. So I guess chronologically, let's start with Noah's Ark. God saw how corrupt the earth had become and said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all people. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark. I am going to bring floodwaters on the earth. You are to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female. You're kind of skipping some portions there, but that's okay. Oh dear. Oh, these controls are unique. Oh, I can't jump with an animal. What's this? Pushing up on trees, caverns, and walls will allow you to climb them. That shouldn't be. Just like in real life, yeah. This is just like real life. Oh, ooh. What have I gotten myself into? Was that a unicorn? Noah is an assassin from Assassin's Creed confirmed. Yeah. Well, I mean, doesn't the whole Assassin's Creed story start with Adam and Eve? What is this? Where'd it go? So confused. Give it 3 games, they'll probably make it canon. Again, Adam and Eve are already canon. Built the ark on treetops? I mean, why not? Just make the trees the boat. And there's a banana. Why do I have a banana? What? Why is this? Oh, that is a slippery jump. What? Sub-Zero? You know what? Maybe I don't want to know. Oh, I can distract the monkey with it, and then I can pick up the monkey. No, how do I get the monkey? I have put the monkey in the boat. That was a female monkey, apparently. Pressing throw pickup while pushing down causes you to drop an object. For the record, the controls is space to pick things up, alt to jump. No. No, the pig is too slippery. What am I supposed to do? Get over here, horse. I can jump with a horse, but I can't jump with a cow. Thanks, Squirrelich. I'm doing things. What games do I normally play on stream? Great question. So, Mondays I play RPG games. So we just finished Chrono Trigger. We'll be starting Kingdom Hearts 2 in the new year. Tuesdays I do spiritual and faith-based games. So we had just been playing a card game called Redemption, and a card game based on it. Or a computer game based on it. Wednesdays is Minecraft. And Thursdays is Throwback, which right now we are doing games from, what's it called? Humongous Entertainment. How you doing today, by the way, Squirrel? Would it have just been easier to wipe the earth clean and try again? Yeah, but then that would be a complete undoing of creation. Whereas this is more of a soft reset. Ooh, Jak and Daxter. Yeah. I haven't thought of that game in a while. I'll have to add that to the list. I do a decent amount of Super Nintendo stuff on Throwback Thursday, because that's what I grew up with. So, horse. Nope. Horse. 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 The monkey just knocked out the horse by throwing something, and I don't really want to talk about the repercussions of that. Yesterday was not good. Oh no. Today's not good. Not as bad as yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope the week keeps getting better. Parkour horse. Parkour horse in the... I'm parkouring the horse in the stable. We're going to keep workshopping that one. Monkey, 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 how? Ooh. Okay, I think I'm going to need the banana to get the monkey. Then I'm wondering if this thing... I think it's a hay bale is what it's supposed to be, so I think it's supposed to stop the horse. But maybe it also... Okay, distracted the pig. I'm figuring this game out, and I hate that. Had to get my head cut to check for skin cancer. Oof, and then 300 speakers were not working. Oh. That is rough. Sorry to hear that. Prayers that, you know, for what it's worth, that that there is no skin cancer, you know. Still not a pleasant experience to have to go through, but wait, I'm carrying the hay and the pig. Questions? Head off, swamp up. Hey, it's all good. I'll be praying for you, Jorbinicus. It was good to meet you today in Mel's stream. So had I been playing the King of Kings game, it's basically the same thing, I think, just different sprites, essentially. Yes, monkey. Yes, come to banana. No. Monkey get. Hey, Britt. Buff Noah. Yeah, I mean, he can lift a whole cow. Is there Noah that's Doom clone? I have a whole month planned of Noah's Ark video games planned next year. And one of them, yes, is a Doom clone. Is this a Noah game? Technically. Good to see, I hope. Okay. Over here, cow. I'm doing pretty well. Like, just trying to wrangle cows and things. I'm feeling like there should be music. Yeah, we finished Chrono Trigger yesterday. That was a nice dramatic finish. At least it's not cat wrangling. Yet. There might be a level 2. Rude. Okay, I've seen snakes popping their heads out of some of the trees. Stream was good. Looks like somebody doesn't want to be saved. I don't remember giving them that option. Snake. No! Snake. Snake! Snarky. Ah. It despawned. Am I supposed to drop in on above from the snakes? I don't know. You had an Advent Day of Reflection. I hope that was good. Danger rope. The danger noodles are real. Whoever listens to me will live in safety and be at ease without fear or harm. Proverbs. Yeah, but Proverbs didn't exist at the time of Noah. Why do I have to get this cow on board? It's clearly already here. God spoke, now you're a little confused. That's valid. Proverbs, I mean, traditionally Proverbs are attributed to King Solomon, largely. But, you know, whether or not... It's kind of like how the Psalms are attributed to David. It's like, well, you know... Some, yes, but not all. Yeah, you with a couple of questions? Go for it, squirrel. Proverbs may not have existed, but surely Proverbs existed. Okay, well, when you phrase it that way. Oh. No, no, no. I want. So rude. What if I bring you a tasty mouse? Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to do to get the snakes. Oh, there's... Well, there's the other cow. Keeping an eye on chat for your questions, Squirrel. Whenever you're ready. Also, here's a fun scriptural question that you could throw on people. How many animals did Noah, or how many kinds of each animal did Noah bring aboard? Because, you know, the classic image, like this right here, is a male and a female of each. Well, that's in one version. Turns out there's two different versions of the story of Noah's Ark that are actually woven together. And so, the older, I think it's the older version, I forget which exactly, but one of the versions says that it's to be 7 pairs of each animal, which then 6 of each, or 1 of each kind. It's going to be 6 clean and 1 unclean of each kind, and then the 1 unclean one gets sacrificed. Okay. Oh, these are the snakes I'm supposed to pick up. A couple popular Bible translations out there. Most respected practicing Catholics now use one version, but the USCCB uses the NAB for liturgy. I assume they do that for uniformity, but then how do they feel about the other translations? Great question. The USCCB actually does list elsewhere on its website, and there has been official proclamation about this, which translations are approved for Catholic use. I don't remember all the versions off the top of my head, but, you know, there are some versions that, you know, there's an article actually on Busted Halo about this to some extent, talking about the King James Version. And it's like, well, what's wrong with the King James Version? It's like, well, it's not wrong. It's just flawed. We have better translations, and we have ones that we can better understand. You know, it was written in the English of its day, but it is no longer that day. So I know NRSV, RSV, NAB are all approved. I don't remember if ESV is. Sorry, Britt. I assume you just tried to post a link. I'm afraid I have that automatically turned off. But yeah, so I think the NAB was chosen at one point, probably, you know, in light of the council and to create that uniformity. in the liturgy of like, okay, great, all the dioceses across America. That way, you know, when we travel, we're just going to hear one particular style. Hey, there you go. Sub-Zero's got easy mod. Yeah, it gets auto-blocked and all the others. It shows up as asterisks. That's how I know that someone has tried to post a link. Nope. Oh. No. 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 Silly snake. You know, and sometimes the translation, it's not necessarily like how it says things, but so much it is like the scholarship behind it that people are like, the church is like, you know, this one's probably not good spiritually to use. Shocker. Shocker, Brayherd. Having collected a quota of animals, Noah checks his inventory. Two cows. Yellow horse. Brown horse. Monkey. Other monkey. Snake. Identical snake. Pig. Bible in the Year uses RSV, not NRSV. Yep. How do they get away with that? RSV is also allowed. RSV and NRSV are sort of from the same school of thought, but they are kind of different translations. Like, and I don't know all the nuances and the specifics of the differences, but part of it is like individual choices of how some language gets used. So RSV might say man to refer to humanity, whereas NRSV would use humanity in a more, you know, broad sense. And both are approved. Both are approved. Just because there is a new blank doesn't mean that the old one is automatically abrogated. It gets confusing, I will admit. So basically, grandfather, kind of, yeah. That's one way to put it, but he found the speed runs. Okay. Oh, the raccoons are mean. Good. Nope. Wrong button. Wrong button. Ah, yes. The pandas of the ancient Near East. I'll see in second edition in both those translations, so those are okay too. Yeah, second edition is basically just like the committee or the company or organization that manages it has gone back and said, okay, we can update this, we can fine tune it. And a lot of times the second edition will mostly be more footnotes. Like, it's not going to change the text a whole lot, but it's more that it's like, oh, hey, I found America. Mel, welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome. We are talking about Bible versions while we I do things. Young Owl, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Not Sleepy Raid. What to do? Will Mel sleep? Oh, Mel should get some sleep, but not too much because I know you're working to reset your sleep schedule. ESV is your go-to. Oh, interesting. I haven't read much of the ESV, but yeah, like a second edition is more likely, like it might fix some typos that they accidentally got in there. I mean, the Bible's a big book. It's very easy to put a comma in the wrong place. But it's most of it's going to be like they've updated their footnotes. So, for those of you joining as part of this raid, my name is Father Evan. I'm a Catholic priest, stream here on Twitch 4 days a week, exploring the intersection of faith and gaming right now. Looking at some unofficial NES games. based around scripture as a way to, talk about, well, scripture, especially leading up to Christmas. I had one to play the one that's all about. They have one that is all Christmas, but it's not in this collection. I was duped and bamboozled. Baby Moses, 1 minute 51 seconds. Goliath, 1 minute 59 seconds. Noah's Ark, 23 minutes. Well, there you go. So we are going to play more of the Bible card game. I know, it was getting a little grating because it just felt very find a door where there was someone I hadn't fought yet, get a note, be told, oh, this note's not sufficient. Repeat. No, you just made me throw away that blackbird. No, come back here. No, bird, I need you. Thank you for the raid again, Mel. P-Tony meeting? Wait, what's the P-Tony meeting? Sub question. I get a lot of giving behind the scenes update to patrons and subs. Oh, that includes me. I just didn't pay attention to the Discord. Last sub question. I get a lot of people recommending the Douay Reams. I see that it's not on that list. I imagine they do that because it's Vulgate inspiration translation source, but it's not approved. Then beyond it being more trad, why does it keep getting recommended to me? It holds a really interesting place, the Douay Reams, in English-speaking Catholic circles, in that it was the first English translation. It and yes, it is based on the Vulgate, but it comes out of a time in England. It was actually done in France, but it was people who left England due to the persecution of the change to the Church of England and all of that. So I think that is part of sort of the ethos of it. And part, and yeah, I think it holds sort of that same poeticness that like the King James does for a lot of Protestant circles, where it's like, it sounds nice, so like there is that role that it plays. And again, it being the first English translation, it was like the English translation up until the I think the 20th century, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong on that. So it's kind of this, we've been using this for so long, but also at the same time, the church is saying, by it not being on the approved list, the church isn't saying it's bad. It's saying we have something better. We have things with better scholarship behind them. We have things with better resources and better and more accurate translations. The fact is, Douay Reams was translated from the Vulgate, which itself was translated from the Greek, whereas the RSV, NRSV, NAB, they're all based more on some of the oldest manuscripts that we have found. So it's kind of a sense of like, look, this isn't bad. We have something that's more accurate and more at the heart of it. So it's still perfectly fine to use for like personal spiritual growth, but you're never going to hear it proclaimed, at a NAMBO, at a mass, or like ideally, like it's not the one that should be used for the random scripture quotes in a bulletin. May the Lord answer you when you are in distress. May the name of God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and grant you support from Zion. a beautiful psalm, but to Noah, that's not going to mean anything because he doesn't know who Jacob is, because Jacob is his his descendant. So it's not schismatic to read like New World. No, it's not schismatic. It's just you can't use it in like official functions. You know, don't use it for your Bible studies. The church would recommend that you don't use it for your Bible study, but you know, if there are some versions, you know, like actively schismatic groups will make their own Bibles. You know, and that's another thing, but you know, when you start inventing new scripture, it's like I think you can agree and say, yeah, that's not a good idea. And Noah said unto the void, who? I have a yellow thing. Who is this for? Oh, I'll just keep throwing it at animals until something stops. Okay, it's not for the panda. Who is surprisingly violent. I think it's bamboo shoots. I wish. Well, it despawned. Hey, glad to help. Yeah, and each country's conference of bishops can set its own translation. So I do believe Canada uses the NRSV, but if Father Pizza is here, he can correct me. Or Father Damien, he's also a priest in Canada. NWT is the Jehovah's translation. Says things like, in the beginning the word was with God, was God. Oh, well, you know, that's... See, again, there are some translations where it's like, yeah, that one's got some problems. Okay, I think this is an egg. Need to lurk a bit before I ask the next one. Hey, it's all good. Do you want the egg? No? Oh, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. America is trying to dive bomb me. What? Headline, Noah seen randomly throwing cheese at animals. I mean, you're not wrong. No! No! Just... Better find a psalm soon. I know! I just threw my cheese away. Which apparently took out the snakes? I have more questions, and I don't think I'm going to get them answered. What happened? There was a raccoon here. I don't think saying no stops it from happening. I could try. Oh, I can go in this one. Oh, I can climb up the edge of that, apparently. Not that they ever explained that, but then again, why would this game explain anything? You know what? You're right. Keep believing. I'm going to. Ha! Raccoon get. No, Panda, leave me alone. There is a peace slam on the tree. It's that God kind of helped Noah collect the animals. They had held them all by hand. Yeah, but then how would I have the comedic moments of Veggie Tales of animals being chased down by fruits and veggies? The righteous eat to their heart's content, but the stomach of the wicked goes hungry. Okay, these snakes are just taking each other out. Sly Cooper's behind bars, finally. What? I know this isn't for the pandas. It's not for the toucans. Maybe it's for the blackbird. I tell you what, if you're watching this and you're thinking, wow, this doesn't control well, I guarantee you it controls even worse than that. Oh, also, Mel, I added a sound effect to my soundboard. Let me know what you think. I left Mel's stream, I came back to whatever this is. I'm so sorry, TC. It is what it is. Nothing you've ever said about Palmarians is an exaggeration. I know. Trust me, I know some about the Palmarians. They are unique. Okay, the eagle likes the egg. Why would you add that to your soundboard? So I can trigger all the emo kids. Just like this. When I was a young boy, my father, that panda hurts, took me into the city to see a marching band. Oh no! I've been abducted by America! There's half a peace slam left. Okay, I'm just supposed to hit the panda with a hay bale and knock it out. You're going to a better, more free place, Father Heaven. No, it is in fact the high G from Welcome to the Black Parade. I even put Gerard Way's face on my soundboard to remind myself. Yeah, it's right below this one.
Ah, the French.
Haha, got you. Oh, it's Noah's Ark. I get it now. Yeah, it's not the most obvious. Same chord is waiting in the end. I mean, it's a high G. It's not like it's a super rare chord. No, no, leave me alone. No! I just want the hay bale so I can knock out a panda. No. 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 Okay, I'll take a blackbird. Having a chord, just a note. Yeah, I guess. No, it doesn't take fall damage. Indestructible knees. Yeah, God blessed him on for the journey. He's like, you're gonna be lifting elephants. We're gonna start with a knee replacement. Oh yeah, that Nortenyo cover is great. It makes me wish Los Colorados had done a cover. Okay. What do we still need? We need two toucans and another blue jay. Well. No, 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 no. Dang it. I was going to use that hay bale to knock out a blue jay. No abductor of animals, apparently. It's a high E. I'm waiting for the end. Nope, wrong button. No, go away, Eagles. I've already put you on the boat. You shouldn't even be there. King Black Parade, like that when we were young. I can imagine that was an experience. No, no, don't you want the pear? Hey, Kit, thanks so much for the 5 gifted subs to Lil Munster, Ghosty, Wilpog, Boxio, and Dream Horowitz. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kit. You tell Moses is blessed by God since he takes no fall damage. Exactly. Okay, the pear must be used for the bluebird then, I guess. Hey, a little cheesy. I have a bluebird on a pear. Your argument is invalid. It's a perch? No, a perch is a fish. Okay, we just need another toucan. Should it be a partridge? Catholic Mario? Catholic Mario that's unofficial, even. Nintendo would not allow this company to actually print its games on official NES carts. Mario is for sure Catholic. I mean, he is Italian. Where is this other toucan? There it is. Just get... No. Just... No. I gotta say though, for a highly unofficial game made in like the late 80s, the sprite work's not bad. Like the animals look a little odd, but honestly, Noah's running. Why did Nintendo not allow this on official cards? So Nintendo had this whole thing. If you look at old cartridges, in fact, hold on. So if you look here, this is the cartridge of Chrono Trigger we just beat. But if you look there, you'll see that gold and white circle. That is the Nintendo seal of quality. It was a thing that basically, because of the way the video game market crashed in the 70s or late 80s, early 80s, I forget when exactly, but the previous generation had crashed and the market almost never came back. Like, honestly, it's a miracle that we have home video game consoles after that. Yeah, E.T., all that. So Nintendo wanted to control the quality of what kind of games were going on its console. And so it invented the Nintendo seal of quality. And what that meant was, it met some quality standards from Nintendo, and also that they were signing a license, so Nintendo could get a little bit of the money, and that they would only be produced on official Nintendo cartridges. And so that way, if someone came along and said, "Wow, there's all these terrible games for this console, Nintendo must be terrible," and they weren't licensed, Nintendo could say legally, "No, we have nothing to do with that. They brought that on themselves." But it was a way of like trying to control some level of quality, help the market heal, and also normalize and protect the design of their cartridges, as I understand it. I only have a passing knowledge and interest in this, as you can tell. What brought the market back? Honestly, Nintendo. Honestly, the hard work of Nintendo and the saturation that they were able to achieve with the NES paved the way for Sega to step in with the Master System and then the Genesis, and it was kind of a good, healthy competition between the two of them that really was able to make video games something that families were willing to invest in again. Nintendo packaging a console with a toy to claim it wasn't just a video game machine. That too, yeah. Rob. Having collected his quota of animals, Noah checks his inventory. That is a fast turtle. Also looks like a frog. Evil pandas. It's supposed to be a raccoon, but it looks like a blob. Bluebird. So we all know that's how bluebirds walk. I actually like the blackbird sprite. I think that's a cute little sprite. Turtles are surprised. It depends on the turtle. It depends on the turtle, and it depends on the context. Plenty of food is needed for the long journey. Oh, what? 7 bananas, 7 coconuts, 7 pears, 7 grapes, 7 hay, 7 wheat. Isn't hay just wheat? And 7 bulls. Well, we are turning bulls and cows into food for other animals, apparently. And Gale has redeemed a candy spin. Yes, the candy spin is now a points redeem. Brew candy. No, I'm gonna spin again. '68th worst game ever made. Well, okay. That's vanilla milk. Sorry, we covered up your meat maps there, Beer Fox. I'll trigger a new one for you. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We got white. All right. Vanilla milk. Almost accidentally spilled those all over the place. Look at him a week early. I mean, there might be a saint feast day. Not today, but today we have actually started in on the to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and stored away. Take with you 7 of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate. Okay, now you're mixing these scripture passages in weird ways. Ah, wrong button. Anything but antiphons and... I think so, but I do know... Wow, this cow is aggressive. As long as I'm carrying another cow, it's like, nope, gonna hurt you. Red monkeys throw fruit. Yellow monkeys throw coconuts. Yes, coconuts. That's what they throw. There is a feast today. Is there? Well, there's an optional memorial. God willing, December 22nd will be Isaac Hecker's feast day. That everyone may eat and drink, find satisfaction in all his toil. This is the gift of God. Ecclesiastes. Okay, Ecclesiastes is super late. Who chooses the feast day of the saint? Typically, it's the day the saint died. Or it is a day associated with them. If, let's say someone died on December 25th, they will probably not have that as their feast day. Got prep for meeting. Have fun. Hey, have fun with the meeting. I hope it's fun. Or tolerable. Hello, Fada. Hello, Mata. Things are bad at Camp Granada. Why is there a cow on the roof? I'm going to blame Shem. See, that's a scripture joke. Shem is one of Noah's sons. Ah, wrong button. I keep wanting to hit enter. Also, when did Noah invent neon? Look at this sign. A priest making a scripture joke. December 25th is a pretty convenient feast day because you're probably not going to have as much trouble getting people to church as other days. Yeah, I think there's a problem of precedence, though, It's a naturally occurring gas. Well, fair enough. He grants peace to the borders and satisfies you with the finest wheat. You know what? Actually, for Nevada, neon makes total sense as their official element. Just think of Vegas. Does Texas have one? It's probably just gun. I mean, Utah has an official state gun. Browning M1911. It's a choice. Utah has probably something like uranium. No, I was trying to get that fruit. The official element for gun would be lead. State mineral for Utah is copper. That makes sense. What with Kennecott Copper Mine? This monkey's just going to help us go all the way. I wish I didn't have to transition in and out of this door every time just for a single fruit. This vanilla milk candy is weird. Because it tastes like milk, but it's entirely the wrong consistency to be milk. No, it's more like solid milk because it's dang it, monkey. You were in the perfect spot and you were like, I'll throw fruit to you, and now you're like, no. Thank you. Thick skim milk. Thanks, I hate it. The phrase thick milk is just concerning in general. Ah, yes, the coconuts of the ancient Near East. Look, before the flood, for all you know, it could have been there. Got a single stalk of wheat. And the wheat that grows on trees. I mean, palm trees are just giant grasses, so why not? Sorry. Yeah, did you not know that? That palm trees are just basically a form of giant grass? Trees being fake was a mind blower for you? Yes. Tree weed equals tweet. Ah. You lived in this state for so many decades. You've never had the state fruit. What is your state fruit? Unless you don't want to say it because you're afraid that people could then search what state you're in and, you know, accidentally dox yourself. State native fruit. You know, it's a really good fruit that a lot of people haven't had is what's it? It's called a custard apple sometime, but what's its actual name? Pawpaw. Thank you. Pawpaw. They're great. You just like fruit, tomato, native fruit, pawpaw. Yeah, the pawpaw is like the only North American cousin of like apples and mangoes and things like that kind of tropical fruit. Never seen one. You might have seen one and you just didn't realize it because I didn't know what they were when I lived in Ohio. And then like someone gave me one to eat and I was like, oh, these things. They're so good. Like you cut them in half and just eat them with a spoon. They're so sweet. Gonna try to grow a pawpaw tree? That's awesome. How many more bananas do I need? I need more bananas. Gonna make grapes. Gonna make wine. Because that's part of the story. Because Noah gets really drunk after the flood. Cross between banana and mango flavor. Yeah, that's kind of how I describe it. It's kind of like got a custardy, like melted ice cream consistency. They've got big ol' seeds. They're like an inch and a half long, but they're really easy to eat around. It's not counting additional grapes. Oh, I have my 7 grapes. That's why. So we have all the pears we need. We just need 2 more bananas, and we're done with the red monkey. It's a Colt Walker. That sounds about right for Texas. Monkey. Throw me a banana. Throw me a banana. Come on, monkey. No. No. Yes. Okay, 1 more banana. Monkey, you were amazing. Okay, so now we need more cows and bulls. Honestly, the thing that makes me hate this game the most is the lack of music. Okay, Booze's bananas turn into banana daiquiri. Amalurk gotta go back to the salon to get Miss Gouda's haircut fixed. Don't know how they got away with some of the cuts they send out their doors. Ooh, I think it's time to find a new salon. Oof. $99 bananas? $99 red bananas? No, wait. Fermenting yields a wine. Okay, sure. Still not valid for communion, but, you know. Oh, I just realized. Oh, I can stack. Oh my goodness, this is a game changer. How much can I stack? Okay, 4 things. That changes everything. Wait, so long as the cow's on top of the coconuts, I can jump with the cow. You can stack. You can stack. I knew you could. I thought previous times when I was stacking things like the pears with certain animals, I thought that's because they were holding it. Like that was the implication. No, you can just stack things. All right, monkey. Fine, hurt me with some coconuts. No, don't hurt me with the coconuts, please. No, I don't need a pig. I just need coconut. No. Make that pig despawn. No, the pig's not despawning. So long as the cow's on top of the coconuts, I can jump with the cows, one of the sentences of all time. Yeah, that's the kind of high quality content you come to expect from Let Us Play. Look, I play only the finest Bible games around here. Perfect logic. Exactly, right? Unfortunately, this is true. You do play the finest Bible games. Thank you. I can't help that they're all existent. Whoop. Come with me, and you'll see a world of pure imagination. Or not. If the Infinite Strangeness of the Spider-Verse, Peter Parker were to be clergy, would it be Father Spider or Spider Father? Father Spider-Man. It's hyphenated. It's one name. Okay, I need one more bull, one more cow, more wheat, more hay, more coconuts. And I'm very low on health. Father SB. Did that make him a Spiritan? Since he's a New Yorker, he might be Paulus. That's a fair point. Although, is there a save so you don't have to start over? I don't know! This is literally the first I've ever played this game. And honestly, I don't hate it. Like, I'm actually... Like, it's pretty repetitive. And again, I wish there was some music. But, like... I feel like I've played worse. Would I recommend anyone to play this? No. I have? No, I've never played this before. Remember Captain Bible? Yeah, that's a different game. That game I actively do not recommend. You have played more. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. No! I got sniped by a barrel! I want to see what happens when you hit continue. You have to restart that whole stage. Oh, darn. Okay, let's check out Baby Moses. Love that the pile falls over. Yeah. Yes. Pharaoh, water, Baby Moses. It's the exact same game. It's the exact same controls. Oh, I got yeeted. We all know those ancient Egyptian yeet traps. Cue Prince of Egypt music. Oh, that would get me DMCA'd so quickly. Apparently there's a Broadway production of that, and I really want to go see it. Wow, what are you, you weird spider thing? No, leave me alone. No, ow, my baby! My baby! No, no, you can't have my baby. Play your regular music? I don't think lo-fi beats are quite the right tune for this. Oh, there's the music. Great work. On to the next level. Okay, so this one feels more like a traditional platformer in that, you know, it's... Climb from... Waha! Oh, there's... Oh, my child is... My child! My child is spawning in and out of existence. No! Don't block me from my child! Ah, yes, the ancient Egyptian cloud soldiers. Is this Yoshi's Island? I think, yeah, Nintendo owes an apology to this company. They stole their idea. I used to think eating Girl Scout cookies, but then I found out they aren't made from actual Girl Scout cookies. They lied to me. How could they? I remember at Seek last year, our table was right next to the one of the presenting halls. And, like, there was a gap so sound could come through. And one night they showed Prince of Egypt. Oh, that is just rude. They showed Prince of Egypt. And because we were right by the screen, it was really loud. Speaking of Seek, if you find yourself at Seek Salt Lake City, I will be there. Hard to believe that that's in like a week and a half. I seriously want to know what these little spider things are supposed to be. I need to seek Salt Lake City. I'm already here. Spider things. Yeah, we that ancient Egyptian spider thing that's so well known. What do you mean there's a platform that... Why is there a moving gap in the platform? I don't think this is what they meant when that nice overhead voice said, "Mind the gap." My child just went for a swim, and the level wasn't over. I jumped. Okay, this one's a little less like the Noah's Ark one, while repetitive. Like, you got to know the area kind of. Excuse me? This one, it kind of shows how loose the controls actually are. Music for winning or dying. It is reward or punishment. Pretty slippery. Okay, this is the farthest we've ever made it. Well, I don't know where my baby is, but I'll get this scripture in the meantime. I don't think you'll hit world record. What? Don't crush my dreams like that. Okay, there's my baby. He fell through the floor. Whoa! Can you eat the baby? And or bricks to dissuade enemies? I think I can throw bricks. I don't think I can throw the baby. Yeah, that's what happens when you throw the baby. They just toss him in the river. No, put me down. Put me down. Unofficial raid train. Raid train after hours. Taking notes on baby care. No, Roxy, no. Young Chaticus deserves better than this. Only in Peasant's Quest do you throw a baby. I don't know, in Monster Factory they threw the baby around a lot. Although they named basically everything baby in that. I need to fix the baby. Oh, I can pick up the spider thing, apparently. Hello, metal husband. Is this a wisdom tree game? Darn tune it is. What better way to prepare for Christmas than by revisiting some great scriptural stories? I thought that was the baby for a moment. Moses, you are a lot of work. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. No, everything's not fine. I just lost the baby. The demos of these in local Christian store. Yeah, it's probably the only place you would see them. No, I want to throw the spider thing, not my baby. There's a lot going on. Can one thing please stop? I didn't mean me. If you think this is interesting, wait until next year. I have, for some spirituality Tuesday moments, Wisdom Tree made an RPG. So, you know, just get ready for that. No, I'm stun locked! I got stun locked! Now I want to beat this game out of spite. Asked and answered. Don't yeet the baby. I'm trying not to, but anytime they touch me, I get yeeted. No! My son! They yeeted him into the water. I want to beat at least this level. Because I don't know how many levels are in this game. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, actually. How is he walking down? I'm pointing at my screen like you can see it, but how is he walking on the bottom there? Did I ever play Captain Bible? Yeah, that was like one of the first games I ever played on stream. That game is painful. Thank you, Swoliel. Jump over you. Go underneath you. Jump. The bird actually saved me there in a weird way. Your obsession for quite a while as a kid. I am so sorry. I am so sorry in so many ways. Yeah, I think I actually managed to save 2 different people in Captain Bible before I said no more. It was actually part of one of the subjects of discussion at my Doxicon talk. Yeah, the baby bouncing off of the board of the screen is pretty great. Okay, health doesn't really matter in this game because if you die, you restart the level with a set amount of health. No! Those fake kidneys. I swear I pressed jump before I fell in that hole. You managed to beat it? Wow. You got to the giant robot? See, that's the thing that kept me going for a while, is the promise of a giant robot. No! Oh, we were right there. Hey, Artemithril. Oh, is that the video link? Step 0? Been playing for months? Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it was like the second or third game I played for Spirituality 2's. Well, it was... What day was it back then? The schedule was all sorts of weird when it first started. I did like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. People want to see you through Captain Bible. Who am I to deny them? Oh! Where did you come from, you... little brick-throwing jerk? Okay. I'm not dead yet. I just gotta find the baby. Okay, the baby's gone. The baby should be around here, and there is no baby. Good work, but you forgot baby Moses! Idiot! Yep. I actually kind of want to get that health. Just because I am pretty low. Okay, we just have to pick up baby Moses. We did it! This game controls like butts. Seem to have difficulty avoiding the bird. I know! It's a homing bird. Sounds so resigned. On to the next level. Yeah. I mean, well, have you seen the game? I think even they knew. That is some cheap level design right there. But you know what? I beat that other level, so we're going to check out the final game in this collection. Bible Adventures. These games were awesome as a kid. I got some bad news, Otto. They do not hold up. Oh, what is this background? This background hurts. What am I supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to be rescuing the sheep, I guess, from the evil red squirrels. Why is there a lion? Good work, but you haven't found all the sheep. I know, I'm trying to get all the sheep. I am working on it, game. The lion makes more sense than it does, but not in a great way. I don't think that shepherds would establish a place for their flocks right where a group of lions is known to live. Now, I could be wrong. I've never been a shepherd. A righteous man cares for the needs of his animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. I hear Daniel doesn't have to worry about lions. Well, that's a ram. What is David's face when he gets hit? Pushing up on caves and trees will allow it to climb them. Yeah, I know. Aren't you a shepherd now? Not of actual sheep. This is probably where Twitch chat then starts bleeding to prove me wrong. You pushing up will allow you to climb on ladders? Wow. What a groundbreaking gameplay mechanic. Can you tell me more? Bah humbug, I say. Who taught that ram to jump like that? Sign these rams up for the NBA with jumps like this. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Such an interesting psalm and a lot of weird scholarship around it. Well, it wasn't Daniel who was thrown into the fire, but it was his companions, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, also known as, what are their Jewish names? Hananiah, Azariah, Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael. Rakshak and Benny. Yes, for those watching the VeggieTales version. I like that it tells me I haven't found all the sheep, but it also hasn't told me how many sheep there are. No, that's okay. No, that's okay. Oh. This one feels like a blend between the other two games. Like it's the animal collecting, but it's more platforming. There are more sheep, that's all you need to know. Surely, as a shepherd, he might know roughly how big his flock is. Why does the bishop need his crozier while the gospel is being preached? So the crozier is a sign of his authority, and even though the bishop is not proclaiming the word, he is presiding over the proclaiming of the word. So it's a symbol of his status. Status is the wrong word, but his function within the worshiping community. These are the tiniest bears I've ever seen. Be strong, take heart. It's a jar of honey. Oh no, okay. So I think I need the honey to distract the bears. Have I ever seen Gustavo's crozier? No, I haven't. Silly sheep, don't hang out with the bear. Yeet! I know, but I thought turning 3 in was still pretty good before I go looking for the last one. Body of an ichthys. Ooh, cool. I get it with Noah in Egypt, but I'm having a hard way. But I feel not having a way to whack the enemies in this game is an oversight. David is a kid. Plus, we can't promote violence. Yeah, I'm doing something very biblical, as Trekkie points out. I've left the 3 behind to look for the 4th. Weren't you just throwing a baby? Yeah, to save it. It's the best way to protect you, right? Except David literally fought off animals with sling and scripture. Yeah, but that might promote the violence. I don't make the rules. And clearly Wisdom Tree doesn't follow them. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. That would be... Okay, the squirrel took out a bear. Why not? Not disagreeing with you that it wouldn't have been scripturally accurate. And, yeah, it would have made a lot of sense. But, you know... This level gives Mario 2 vibes. I think it's the black background in large portions of it. All right, squirrel, can you take out... Can you help me out again? No. Hitboxes. We made it. Ah, yes. Second Book of Kings, chapter 2, verse 23. And lo, he turned and cursed them in the name of the Lord, and 2 she-bears came out of the woods and killed 42 of the children. Now I have a sling. Bonk. Moral of the story, don't call the prophets bald. It's a very simple lesson. The righteous man may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. That was some malarkey. That's some malarkey. Excuse me, I'm the one who's supposed to be throwing stones around here. Though someone fall, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. David's just getting so much inspiration to write his psalms later. Okay, I landed on that platform, took damage, and then was yeeted off. Now this is pod racing. So the bumper sticker, Exodus 3:5, do not come any closer, God said. No, that did not want that. Excuse me? Excuse me? Bouncing orbs. Why did you try to pick up the Philistine? And this is version 5.0. I don't know how I'm supposed to get up to that last part, though. Like, there were no platforms, and I can't seem to go in the doors. David, your head too big. Righteous man may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers them from all. Yes. So those don't seem to change. But, like, look, clearly a door. Nothing I can do to enter it. This is probably not what some scripture writers had in mind when they said shock and awe. Wrong button. Select. I'm on a keyboard. I don't know what the select button is supposed to be. Sound is borked now? No. There's just no sound. Or maybe it is pork, actually. Because things like the sling. What a perfect game. Truly, Wisdom Tree made a game of all time. Version 5, best version. Hey, Ghosty. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Join us as we suffer. And this is why I added the pain and suffering tag. Heat-seeking orbs. No, I think they're king-seeking. It's a feature, not a bug. Sure about that? Philistine Pachinko. Oddly enough, it being silent, I don't feel like I'm missing out on much. No, no. Your sling animation is so slow, too. You know, I'm going to go back this way. I had better luck climbing up this way. It's so floaty, and yet also you have the momentum of a lead balloon. And the rocks have a tendency of doing things like that. Lead balloon from the hit series Balloons? No, that would be a good game. You know what? I'll take it. Okay, you can hit the scorpions and it does nothing. I don't think anyone's rotated, actually. Ah, there it is. Rotated. Today we get the genealogy of Jesus from Matthew. I was complimented on how I managed to proclaim it this morning, too. Which is not an easy feat, but, you know, it is a story in and of itself of firmly planting Jesus as one of his people and with his people through his connection to history. And it's one there's some great heroes in there. There's also some great messes in there. Shoot. That's not what I wanted to do. And it is the same Christ who is planted in the midst of that history, that walked with his people in history and walks with us. Planting him, tree, good. Not even meant as a pun, believe it or not. But it does also include some very... It's interesting that Bathsheba is only mentioned as the wife of Uriah. But there are other women also mentioned, like Ruth. Okay, Bible Ventures. I see how it is. I see how your game goes. I see why you were on the 68th worst game of all time list. That is about where my brain's going to be able to handle it. Normally, I stay on for about 10 more minutes, but yeah, that ain't happening. I've had my fun. This was actually a fun stream. This, and it's tough because, like, between the limitations of the game and the medium of, the tech of the time. Remember, this is NES 92. Oh, wow, that was really late into the NES life cycle, actually. It's tough. And it's like, how do you make a game that's based on scripture and gets kids reading scripture? And so I get, like, the idea of, like, edutainment, like, okay, what's popular at the time? Well, Mario is, so let's do a Mario. And they tried, and some of it's not terrible. I'm not going to say this is a good game. I think with some refining, the Noah's Ark one was probably the most fun. I think if it had slightly varied maps with each one, and then also some different game modes, they could have really focused in on that. And it was a time, so I commend them on the one hand, but also, like, okay, you kind of missed the mark in others. Some of the sprite work's not terrible. Like, honestly, for 8-bit, like, these characters look fine. So, and I've definitely played worse, as we discussed. But, yeah, Bible Adventures, perfectly cromulent. Perfectly cromulent. It is what it is. Probably never returning to this. So, however, we'll be returning to Spiritual Warfare, which is part of this collection. It's really funny because when you boot this game, it gives you an option of, like, which of these 4 games do you want to play? And there's Bible Adventures, then there's one that's like, what are the other 2? Let me look really quickly. Exodus, Journey to the Promised Land, and Joshua and the Battlefield of Jericho. And those other 2 are basically just the same game, just with different sprites. Spiritual Wisdom is an RPG. I don't know what to make of it. I've tried it out just to make sure it works, and it was interesting. So we'll look at that. Do you eat baby Jesus? No, that would have been in the King of Kings one that I didn't have, which is a shame. I would have liked to have done that because Christmas themed, but oh well. But yeah, so thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today. Join us again tomorrow. Tomorrow in the morning early. I will be streaming it because we have our Busted Halo staff Christmas lunch, and those are fantastic and epic. So I won't be around in the afternoon. A of M, indeed. I'll be starting around 9ish in the morning. Tomorrow is your birthday. Ooh, that's right. Happy birthday to Gail. Hope you're doing something fun to celebrate tomorrow. Then Thursday will be Pajama Sam and Freddy the Fish. So that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. And then no streams next week. I'll be on a boat. And then I'll be back on the 30th for one stream with some Minecraft. Probably might do some parkour that day, though, instead of working on the server. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling, see how much I can get done. But yeah, so again, thank you so much to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, giving bits, giving subs, all that good jazz, been part of this. And Britt, to sign off today, we'll have a father joke. Where does a mansplainer get his water? From a well, actually. Your lump of coal was delivered by Amazon. Oh, very nice. Anyway, I can also leave you off on a high note. Anyway, let's see who's live to raid into. Gonna send you on over. I want to lay down my bed. I hear one note only from my computer. You're welcome. Stop. No, it's on the soundboard for a reason. Anyway, I'm going to send you on over to Blossom Possum. She's doing some studying for her paralegal studies, but live streaming it. So raid call, just classic father raid, but we're going to keep going on the unofficial Catholic raid train. That ended earlier last night, I guess, but it's kept going with the fun anyway, and it's been fun to be a part of it, so we're going to pass it along to Blossom. So yeah, thank you again to everyone for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.